We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. But what are we going to talk about when we do the recording?
Who knows? We never know what we're going to talk about when we do the recording. I know? How do I know?
I don't know. I'm drinking A&W cream soda.
Gross.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, no, it's... I wouldn't allow it.
What do you mean? You wouldn't
cream
allow
soda's
it?
gross, so I wouldn't allow them to be a sponsor. If they reached out and said, we want to sponsor your show, I would say, I don't care how much money.
Oh, sure you would.
I'm not doing it.
I would send a separate email saying, hey, this guy's a moron, and I like cream soda, so I will accept, on behalf of the podcast, I will accept you as a sponsor. Cream soda.
It'll be a Sean only episode.
Every single time they want to run an ad on our show?
Yeah, those will be just episodes that you just do.
What will you do? Because it sounds like
I just won't participate.
If it's a lucrative partnership, it sounds like you're just going to be out then.
I mean, it's for the podcast, so the money will be for the podcast. So I'll still benefit from the money, but I won't participate in the episode.
No, it's not going to work like that. We'll negotiate so that since I'm the one agreeing to the sponsorship and you're not participating in the show when they're running the ad, the money should go to me. And I, of course, am going to choose money over friendship. So,
yeah, but then I'll just take you to court for embezzlement, because then you're stealing money from the podcast and using it for your personal gain.
How do you know I'm not putting it back into the podcast?
Well, that's why I said I'll still benefit from it, because if the money's going into the podcast, then I'm still benefiting from the sponsorship.
Oh, so
while not participating in the episode.
See, I thought you were just saying you'll just still get half the money to do.
Oh no, the money would
be
for the podcast.
Gotcha. So we could send ourselves on some fun location shoots, and
we could
we're recording from the Coliseum today.
No, I would say we could maybe pay somebody to edit the video episodes so you stop complaining when I say there's a plane flying over your head or a Smurf up in the corner.
I wasn't complaining on mic or during recording for a reason, but you decided that's
because you don't want the listeners to know how much of a little bitch you are.
I think they're tired of
a little whiny, cry, little whiny, tiny little whiny bitch.
I imagine they're tired of every single episode I bring up not enjoying editing the episodes. How is that fun for anyone to hear?
I brought it up this time, so now it's me bringing it up, so it's all good.
Great. Now they don't like either of us.
Well, I mean, I'm not complaining about doing them. I'm just bringing up the fact that you were complaining about doing them prior to the episode.
Gotcha. All right, cool.
And that's why you're in a bad mood.
I'm glad that you also took it upon yourself to reveal that.
Yeah.
Podcasts are fun. Hey, everyone, do a podcast of your own.
Yeah.
With
your good
podcast.
friend.
Yeah.
So you guys can start to resent each other over time.
Yeah.
If you haven't already after 20 whatever years.
However long it's been. I don't even know.
Oh, it's getting close to 30. It's 28.
Sure.
We met when we were 13.
Wait, so how old are we now?
We're 41.
And it's been, so we met when we were what time? What age?
13.
13. Wow. 13?
So 28 years. Yeah, we met in 7th grade in art class.
What semester do we have art class? Or trimester by that point?
Okay, well, regardless, we would have met either just before we turned 13 or just after we turned 13.
Oh, I suppose. Because we could have technically met at 12.
Yeah, at the latter half of 12.
For me, the latter few weeks, or the latter, the couple weeks prior to turning 13.
Right.
Interesting. So 13. To be 13 again.
No, thank you.
I'm not interested.
I mean,
that age.
Yeah, I say you have a child that's almost to that age already, and I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that he says or does that you're just like, I don't. Nope. I want nothing to do with this.
Well,
I don't want to be that age now.
It's a whole other world.
Generation. It's
It's a whole different world that he's living in than we did when we were that age. For some reason a common exclamation is "what the Sigma?" So that's just something that people say now, and
yippee.
It's become very popular to take a word, use it improperly, and then that just becomes the way the word's used.
Yeah.
So, and then there's a whole gigantic corner of the world that focuses on all these weird, like, creepy versions of things that exist, like a creepy Mario and a creepy Sonic and a creepy this and a creepy that. Everything's got to be creepy, and there's analog horror, and there's all these different lore. Everything has to have lore behind it, and it's crazy. I don't know who makes these things, but there's just
a lot of people with way too much time on their hands.
Yeah, there's a lot of. One thing I've noticed. Do you have any idea what analog horror is, or have we talked about it before?
No.
Analog horror is always some sort of old. It's supposedly some sort of documentation of some sort of occurrence, or some sort of, like, some creature was sighted, or some people went through some experimental treatment, and their bodies were dysmorphed and extorted, and they looked all weird and everything. Anyway, it's all analog looking, so it all looks like it's on VHS, and they take advantage of the fact that it's grainy and the resolution's pretty low, and there's like, if a tape could be worn out, and that sort of like distortion can run down from bottom to top of the screen or whatever. It adds effects like that just to make things scarier when something's like they see something in the corner of the screen, and then all of a sudden there's some sort of disturbance in the tape, and you can't. What happened to it? There's all this kind of stuff. You and I know when you're playing a VHS and a VCR, there's a certain font for any text that appears through, like, any kind of VCR settings, or that, like, or also
forward, little FFs in the corner and stuff.
Camcorders would have a similar. So you see this sort of font everywhere. Well, that font is used in everything, even if there's a message being delivered on the tape. It uses that exact look, even though you could put any type of text you wanted on on a message that's being officially delivered via this VHS tape. But I think people don't really get that, and so they're just using the on-screen, like, viewing the VCR.
So, are you saying, like, as if this is now being presented on, like, YouTube, like somebody found this footage and they're, like, talking about it? So if they're talking about it, they use that same text?
No.
Or if they're, like, talking, or if something is displayed,
any text that's displayed on the screen, where let's say it's like, January 12th, 1994, document number 6, the subject was found in a creepy or in a disturbing position when we entered the room. Their hair was falling out. Anything like weird like that is displayed on the screen to be, why would you log it this way on a VHS and have it be something that someone watches anyway? Like, none of it makes none of it is realistic in that it wouldn't have been recorded in that way anyway.
Right.
The whole circumstance wouldn't have been documented that way, but this is what they make now. And they try to make it seem as though it's from, the 80s and 90s where you're watching stuff on VHS.
Right.
So
it's like the found footage genre. Like all of a sudden, Blair Witch came out, and then it was like, oh, look at all these other crazy things we found of these horrible things that happened.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's a whole world of people that react to those things, and they act like they're really concerned about what's happening, or they're acting like they are really disturbed by what they're seeing when it's it's all fake, and they know it's all fake, but they're just like, oh wow, they like to use the terms disturbing, unsettling, creepy, and things like that. They're like, oh wow, that music in this thing is really unsettling. That's very popular to say that things are unsettling. And I'm thinking, like, you should look up the word like disturbed, like mentally disturbed, and think of and look at what that actually means, and then you would be able to say that you're not actually disturbed by what you're watching,
right,
or unsettled by what you're watching. You might find it weird.
To say you were unsettled by what you just watched means before you watched it, you were very settled.
Yes,
like, I was quite settled before I watched this, but now not so much.
Now I'm up and moving around.
That's how I'd respond to these videos. Like prior to watching this video, I was quite settled.
Yeah,
that's my whole comment.
Good. Now this video has caused me to be up and moving about, and I just can't seem to get comfortable because. Yeah. Oh wait, I did that.
Maybe good on this video, because I was starting to, I was forming piles because of the amount I was just sitting in front of my computer all the time watching these videos that previously weren't unsettling me.
Yeah,
but
now they are
unsettling me.
And so it got me up. It got me moving around. It got me, moving my muscles. I think this is ultimately going to be a good thing for me.
Yeah, I am maximum. I'm at my maximum unsettled right now.
Yeah.
Because I actually got up.
I am just standing still, vibrating.
Fully aroused. And that's unsettling.
That's unsettling for everyone else.
Yeah. Now, see, I was settled. This got me not settled. I won't say the word. And because I became not settled, all the other people in the room are unsettled.
Yeah.
Because of what this video did to me. Full erection.
You're the first person I've seen that has claimed to have that sort of physical response to one of these videos. No one else, at least they're not saying that it's happening.
Fear and terror, immediate erection for me.
Gotcha.
If I'm walking down the street and somebody decides to start, like, they want to mug me, full boner.
And then they think you pulled a gun on them, and then they run away, and then it goes down.
Then it's like it turns into a knife fight because they think I got a weapon.
Yeah, and so they draw their weapon, and you're like, you stab them with your tiny pointy weapon, and then they run away injured.
They get freaked out though because they look down and say, "Oh, you got a weapon too?" And I'm like, "That's my penis. You're gay." And they're like, "Oh no, I don't want to be gay." And then they run off.
Why are they gay? Because you're the one who got aroused. You're the one who got aroused by a man handling you. Why are they gay?
I got aroused by somebody mugging me. It could have been a man or a woman. It doesn't matter who it is.
So then why are they gay?
If I'm getting mugged, I'm getting aroused.
If it's a woman, then why are they gay if they look at your penis?
Oh, they're not. In this particular case, I would never say that to a woman. If a woman looked at it, I'd be like, "You like what you see? Continue the mugging."
You like mug this?
Yeah. It's what you want is what you are trying to get from me is in my pants. Better dig in there and grab it.
Wow, it's amazing you've gotten this far in life.
Can you see this giant roll of quarters? You're going to need that for laundry, probably.
Wait.
Better dig in that pocket and grab it, mugger.
just means the girth is the same. Just the length.
I mean,
increases.
it's dark out. They don't. Yeah, it's dark out. They don't really.
Why don't you say
part of it?
Why don't you say like a 50-cent piece or like a roll of 50
Because you
cent
can't
pieces
use
or
those
something?
for laundry.
Okay,
They'd be more. They wouldn't be interested in those.
so I'm going to stick with
a useless coin.
I'm going to stick with a less impressive coin girth-wise to describe my penis, and stick with something that's more logical as something someone would use for laundry.
3 rolls of quarters in my pocket.
Like lengthwise, or they're like bound together?
Like they're bound together on the sides.
Okay, so it's almost like a triangular type of a shape in a way. Okay,
yeah,
like a Toblerone.
Yeah.
Okay, huh? So is it?
Toblerone is how they described it.
But we are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the 3 rolls of quarters wrapped up, they're the length of 1 roll of quarters.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
but I have really deep pockets, so it looks like it's way down there.
I see.
Yeah.
But it's just like a weird, like the bulge doesn't start until way down. Also,
I wear slightly baggy pants in the crotch area.
Gotcha.
And then they get tighter on the thighs.
It's very strange.
Yeah,
Are they maternity jeans? Like, are they? Is that what you wear?
Perhaps I might have been shopping in the wrong section at the store.
Oh, you gotta stop going to TJ Maxx.
Yeah, I gotta stop shopping at Motherhood Maternity.
It's the only pants that fit me. What do you want me to do?
I have this weird thick midsection and these tiny little legs.
There's not a big and tall and looks pregnant store for men, so I gotta go here. And hey, you know what? It's when they're used, you got them for cheap.
Yeah, big and tall and girthy is what they call that store.
Yeah.
It didn't go over well.
So you could say, "Oh, check it out, ladies! Check it out, female mugger! I've got $30 worth of quarters down there. Why don't you get to it? Why don't you get to spending?"
Yeah, and they're just like, "You take them out," and I just be like, "My hands."
My hands. What about your hands?
I just go, my hands, and they're like, we get it.
Gotcha. There's more than one.
There's a lookout.
Oh, sure. There's a getaway driver. There's all this. It's a 3-person. It's a 3-woman operation minimum. Yeah. To mug a man.
Yeah, that's what I say about my penis too. It's a 3-woman operation.
Gotcha. So since you are sticking with this whole quarters to do laundry analogy, you have to throw in some sort of innuendo about a load in there somewhere, right?
I don't have to.
But it's right there. If you wanted to, it's right there for you. No desire. Okay.
I was just saying, you have to do it. I'm like, nah.
My hands. My hands. I don't have my hands.
You know? My hands. I didn't know what to say, dude.
So
I couldn't come up with a good excuse for that.
How often does this happen? It sounds like this happens to you all the time.
Geez.
Should I fear the thought of moving to Chicago or visiting Chicago? Wow.
Yeah.
Is it the same women? They just know you're an easy mark? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. God,
I don't know. I could take a different route home every day, but I don't.
This is the most. It's the most direct. Why should you have to go out of your way just because they want to mug you every time?
It's the most direct now. I say it's the most direct.
I think you should let your laundry pile up a little more and just go less often. And by the way,
why do I have 3 rolls of quarters in my pocket every
time,
7 times a week?
Well, no, because I thought that wasn't really quarters; it was actually your appendage.
Oh, shit!
Right?
Yeah, never mind.
So my question is, what are they mugging off? What are they doing? Because are they just pleasuring you every time?
They have yet to make any money off of me.
Gotcha. Just like this time for sure. He's really going to have actual quarters on him. How is he paying for this laundry? They wonder.
Yeah.
Well, you're the kind of guy who's going to bring just the right amount of coins that you need. So you leave the laundromat sans coins.
I don't go to the laundromat.
You are just trying to lure these female muggers with a false trip to the laundromat?
No, I use the laundry in my building.
So why are you
I still need quarters.
So where's this mugging taking place?
On the streets.
In your building?
Like when I'm going to and from work and stuff.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It wasn't I guess I don't remember ever saying they were mugging me on my way to the laundromat. I was just saying they want the quarters for laundry so they can do their laundry.
Oh.
I was just saying I had quarters on me. Not that I was using them for anything.
But they are going to be used for laundry in your building, you said.
Like, no, okay. So, Sean, if you remember, there are no quarters.
Right, but
I'm saying they think I have quarters.
And
I say, hey, ladies, there's quarters in my pocket. You might want them for some laundry.
So you don't even know if
they want them to do laundry. I'm assuming because they're women, they are going to want the coins for laundry.
Yeah, you have no idea what they might want to use these non-quarters for.
Yeah,
they could be hitting the slots at the old Reno, Nevada.
But then they realize once they're digging around in my pockets, they're like, "Oh, it's a penis again."
Why do we fall for this every time?
Well, it's already in my hand. I might as well. And then because I'm like, hey, my hands, and they know I can't do it, so they're like, we might as well get him off again.
I think that this is both sides are playing coy here. Both sides are really after the same thing because they're not going to fall for this every time. They're in it for the same reasons you are, and they're just being coy, just like you are.
I didn't think of it that way.
That's why they're always like, I can't, my mouth, you know. So they have to use their hands, or their friends' hands, or their pets' hands.
No
No
pets. There's never been a pet involved.
Okay, no petting. Sorry, that's a bummer. Some heavy petting is nice too.
Speak for yourself. You were.
Well, someday you'll recognize my woman costume that I wear when I go to Chicago multiple times a week, and you'll realize you realize that all three of those women were me all along. I spent a lot of money in gas.
I've been needing your semen for hand moisturizer. That's why you refuse to use your mouth.
They don't sell hand to moisturize my hands?
You've been using my semen to moisturize your hands. And that's why you refuse to use your mouth on me.
Gotcha.
Which I felt was rude.
Because that wouldn't be retrievable.
Once it mixes with the saliva, it's just kind of, it's like, you're like, ugh, gross, saliva on my hands. And you're not into that.
Yeah, that's what I'm grossed out by.
Mm-hmm.
I should stop doing this because it's using so much. I have to spend so much money on gas and or airfare. Travel to Chicago
several times a week.
Yeah, I also, plus I can't afford to do it because clearly doing this doesn't allow me to hold a job. And so I am not earning any income at the same time.
I mean, you're holding a type of job.
And we're all pretending it's quarters. So I guess I'm making some money metaphorically.
Making a whole load.
You could. Oh, I thought you couldn't do that.
Wait, I didn't say I couldn't. I said I didn't have to.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. I'm making a whole load of money.
So I waited to do it in a very inferior way.
How do you like this?
I waited till the time was wrong. You made a bad joke.
You make another joke where you say, "How do you like that cold hard cash, ladies?" And then you're like, "Wait, no, cold isn't good, but the hard part's good."
Yeah, it is hard. Shouldn't be cold unless just before I do all that, I put like a bag of ice down my pants to make sure it's cold so that the joke works.
Yeah. I mean, you've always one thing I've always known about you from age 13 to present is you are fully committed to the joke. And I'm always fully prepared. Like I plan ahead to make sure the joke is just right. So my question, case in point. My question now is, if this seems like a very, very regular thing, and you and both you and the group of 3 women that are involved in this, they seem, you must all be aware of the outcome every time. How is this something that you're still afraid of that causes the erection in the first place?
I mean, I don't know when, like, they changed the location up, so I don't know when it's going to happen. So it's like a whole anticipation thing. So like, I'm hard before
like the whole walk
out because I'm like, when is it going to happen? I'm just like, just going down the street fully aroused at all times. Parents are like grabbing their children, running into the houses, freaked out by this weird, super hung dude with a huge boner walking down the street.
Wait, I'm confused because at some point you said you had deep pockets, and so that's why the roll of quarters was so far down. But this isn't really quarters, though. Mm-hmm. What do the pockets have to do with anything? That's just what you say to them. I think
don't worry about it. You're thinking too much.
Just so you're not. I mean, you should use the maternity pants or the pregnancy pants to your benefit in some way. But for good, to save lives, you should use the baggier portion of the pants to contain the appendage, so that maybe it's a little less obvious to children you're walking by and things. Why do you insist on
the muggers?
Isn't it a little more fun if it's not quite so obvious and they can try to, because if it's obvious, they go right for it. But this allows them to kind of search around first. If it's not so obvious. Why don't
you do it then, Sean? You have all the answers.
I've been doing it. I'm telling you a way to make it
you're
better.
Asking me. You're asking me to.
I'm like, come on. Yeah.
Sorry,
shake it up
I forgot
for me.
You were the mugger.
Yeah. It's this is getting a little boring for me. A little routine, if it were, as it were. So I just want to spice things up a little bit. Yeah, I can change the location so many times, but you're going to run out with your same route. There's only so many locations you can choose from. Yeah. So, and then you're very routine, so it's the same time of day every time. So that's already a lack of spontaneity in that regard. So,
well, I get off work at the same time every day.
I used to know what that's like, but now I do this. So,
well, then you should know what it's like.
I used to know. I don't work anymore because I'm doing this now.
But then you're done working by the time you're done getting me off. So
this isn't work, though.
If it's the same time, I'm sorry.
Look, if you find a way to do what you love, you never work a day in your life, and so I don't consider this work.
Got it.
It just happens to be becoming not fun at the same time as it not being work.
So prostitutes don't work.
Well, some don't like it. At least that's what they told me.
Oh, in the circle you hang out with.
Actually, what they say is like, I usually like this, but with you, I don't.
Like, ugh.
You're making this work. Yeah.
Had a rough day at work today.
You're
Not
making
the rough way I usually like.
Right? Yeah. This guy. I don't know what it is. Every time he comes back from Chicago, he hits me up.
Do you think they ever get stressed out at work? They're like, ugh. It's just too much to do today. Got a very heavy workload.
I'm sure. But whatever makes their pimp happy.
Yeah, I don't want to know what a heavy workload is for a prostitute.
That's when they are with a bunch of overweight clients.
Or like a bunch of dudes at once.
Yeah.
Like a regular old bukkake.
Oh, that one again. Workload. We've assembled a team to finish this project. You're gonna head that team. You're gonna manage that. You're gonna manage that team.
Yeah.
To get the job done. Bukkake load.
It's the weirdest song lyrics I've ever heard.
Well, you haven't heard the music they're going to be put to yet. It'll fit.
Right.
That's what she said.
Wow, Sean, lowbrow. You're going real lowbrow today.
It's because I'm upside down.
I'm trying to keep this lighthearted and, you know.
Oh, did I
very
really?
proper. And
did I like bring the mood down? Did I bring out?
You really went lowbrow with that. You really crossed the line, Sean.
You're the one who said heavy workload first.
You crossed the line this time.
Of course I did. Yeah. With my rolls of quarters. That's how I won the race. That's how I won the race.
We were talking about
you would do well
before this.
You would do well. I know. You would do well at a foot race because the gunshot would make you afraid, and then you could win. Not by a nose, but win by something else. Providing you were anywhere near as fast as the other runners, which I'm gonna bet
I
not.
wouldn't have to be.
Yeah. What? Why not?
I wouldn't have to be. As soon as the gun went off, I'd cross that finish line.
But the track goes around.
Do you
have peyronie's?
I might bend slightly to one side. And by slightly, I mean completely. In
an oval. I call it the pill.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to swallow.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good name for your penis. That's great. Wow.
Yeah. Wait, why? Just mine specifically?
I call mine the Notebook.
Because it's spiraled?
Because it makes everybody cry.
Oh. Yeah, we went different directions there.
That was a thinker, huh?
Because it's college ruled. Because it's a 3 subject. What? I like the spiral. I like mine, though, because it's spiraled. No? Of course not.
No.
It has a spine?
It's weird.
That's weird. It's a weird. It doesn't really. It's actually an invertebrate.
Yeah. I was thinking of a scenario where it's like, my penis is in a lot of pain right now. I got to go to the chiropractor.
Oh, I got to get realigned.
Yeah.
I got to get adjusted.
Yeah. What are some other good penis names?
Well, I mean, are we talking about names that really aren't good? Like the Notebook?
Yeah, I call it this because of blah.
Okay. This is not going to be good. Brainstorming.
I've already thought of one that's not good at all.
Do it then. Say it. I got nothing right now.
I'm looking around my room and seeing things that might inspire me. So it's like mine's called the Owl.
I was gonna say, why don't you look at your penis for inspiration for bad names?
No, it doesn't. No, it always gives me bad advice.
Gotcha.
No, I call mine the Owl. It's a real hoot.
That was terrible.
Yeah, I know. That was the first thing I thought of.
That wasn't even like, because
women think it's a hoot. Like, oh, his penis, it's a real hoot.
Nah.
Like what an old woman would say about my penis.
See, the Notebook one was good, making people cry. Like, that's a funny thing.
I was proud of that one. I was happy with it.
That was good. The hoot is not.
Yeah.
It's not anything. It's not good. It's not bad good or good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a good nickname would be I'm telling you, this is not going well.
No, yeah, this is awful. They call my penis Baby Jessica.
I don't know what that means.
Because I want to get it stuck in your well.
What are you talking about?
Baby Jessica was a very famous baby that fell down a well in like the late 80s or early 80s, in the 80s.
Okay.
Baby Jessica.
Never heard of Baby Jessica in my life.
Jesus Christ, dude. Open a book.
Any book? Will I just find something about Baby Jessica
Read
in any
book
I open?
Dude.
I read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy from December to May.
What?
I did read a book.
Why did you give me a time frame and not like a cover to cover? Like I read it
to show you just to demonstrate
show you how long it took.
How long it took me to read that book. It took me a long time. It was weird. It was
listen to the audiobook version of it. It'd be more entertaining, probably.
No. That's not the problem. The problem is
you don't.
The guy set it up. The guys. Well, there's that. But the guy said it. The author set it up so he doesn't have to. There's no rules. He can just say whatever. It's like a Beck song. You could just say things, and they just exist in this universe because they're out in space, and no one can say it doesn't exist out there.
Welcome to the genre of science fiction, Sean. That's
no.
Pretty much what it is.
Science fiction tends to have some sort of grounded basis. But they're talking about something. Yeah, but this takes it to a point where it's like there doesn't have to be anything sound about this whatsoever. There's anything goes, and so there's no like boundaries or restraints you have to keep your writing within. It's just anything goes completely. So he could just decide to rattle off on some tangent about some beings on some planet that doesn't exist where they wear like humidifiers for hats, and it's all valid because none of it matters.
Yeah.
Have
you seen Star Wars? Have you seen Star Trek? Like, they can do anything they want. You can make a planet that has little hairy fucking bear-looking dudes running around that use primitive fucking weapons and destroy, all these, more technologically advanced people just because they know the forests. It's just you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, they travel to a moon, not a planet, and found these furry creatures.
Oh my god, you just made it worse for yourself.
But the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy takes it way beyond that as far as just nonsensical.
Because it's fun. Because it's comedy.
Well, I found it to be a cop-out. Like,
you have no whimsy. You lack whimsy, Sean.
Well, like I said,
non-whimsical bitch.
It's like a Beck song. It doesn't have to be about anything. It could just be random lyrics that don't connect, and people think he's a genius. Got a devil's haircut in my mind. That doesn't mean anything, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to mean something. He could just, and then the next lyric could have nothing to do with that, but he's a musical genius. Maybe he's genius musically, but lyrically he just maybe is like, that's the afterthought for him.
There are so many bands that do that just say weird random shit all the fucking time.
Possibly.
For sure.
I just don't know of a lot of them. Beck's the only example. Maybe Butthole Surfers, but I don't know enough of I haven't heard enough of their stuff to know for sure if they're like that too.
I'd say Flaming Lips does that a lot as well. And,
I don't listen to them.
I think Dave Matthews does that on a few songs.
Possibly.
Radiohead most definitely does just some weird lyrics here and there.
Possibly.
And you love them. I'm not a huge Beck fan, so I'm not like defending Beck, but I mean, I don't hate Beck's music, but I'm not like, I don't own any Beck albums.
I don't either. I owned the one that most people owned.
I don't own any albums, to be honest, anymore.
I still have some CDs in a book in my living room.
Yeah.
They never.
I loaded all the music onto a hard drive years ago and then sold everything that I could sell.
Pretty much everything is on my computer too. I still have the CDs for some reason.
Yeah, and then I don't even listen to the music that's on my computer anyways. I just listen to stuff through streaming services now because that's the only way to really do it.
Same here.
So it's like, cool, I bought all this music years ago and now I get to pay every month to listen to it again. It's awesome.
You could listen to it from the media that you own, like from that instead.
Well, but I'd have to access it in some way. And
load it onto your Zune and listen to it.
Exactly. I'd have to get an old ass outdated device to load it onto.
You can have music.
I couldn't Bluetooth to that, so I'd have to get headphones that plug directly into it.
You could can't you could download music right onto your phone, right?
I
So you're
can,
not-
but you
so
can,
you're
only
not
fit,
streaming?
you can only fit so much on there.
Yeah, but I mean, how many
And
songs do
then
you really listen to? 7?
Oh, I mean, yeah,
I
it's actually 3.
think I listened to 7 songs tops.
But no, I mean, the problem is like if I had all of my fucking music to my access, if I was able to access all the music I actually have on my phone, I could go months without hearing the same song.
Sure.
And that would be probably nice. Instead, you use a streaming service and then you fucking hear the same fucking songs every single day because they just start over.
Are you just listening to the radio through a streaming service?
No.
Because that's what the radio does. What do you use? Pandora?
I sometimes use Pandora. I don't have a Spotify account.
Yeah.
But so I don't really use Spotify because then you can't, like, you have very limited things that you can do on Spotify if you don't pay for it.
Right.
I mean, same with Pandora, to be honest, but Pandora is really bad for just replaying the same songs every time you restart it.
Now, but
Or
even if you have,
playing stuff you don't know, or like,
even if you have a free account, does it not like remember your listening history and suggest stuff based on that?
Nope.
Oh, that
It'll
sucks.
like so specifically with Pandora, and I don't really like Pandora, but I just use it because it's easy. You just set up channels, so it's like, I want to listen to the Radiohead station. So it'll play a Radiohead song, then it'll play something similar to it, and then then eventually it's just playing anything.
It just we're done trying to match it up.
Yeah, it's like it's really bad at like doing that sort of stuff. So a lot of times what I do is I have a bunch of channels already set up, and then they have thumbprint radio, which is basically like it just kind of says, oh, you like all these different channels, so we're just going to play anything that kind of fits into all those channels. And then that again, it'll still just fucking play like one genre and it'll play the same fucking songs every day. So it's pretty lame.
I would, I that's the reason I stopped listening to the radio so long ago, is for that very thing. I would not want to just hear the same songs over and over again. So I wouldn't enjoy that.
Yep, it's pretty lame. What's crazy too is like radio stations that are like for instance in Minnesota, KQ92. It plays stuff from like the 60s on. Yeah. And it was basically kind of like doing the 60s through maybe the 90s for a while. I'm not sure if they're playing anything past that anymore. Whatever. It's been years since I've listened to that radio station. But even that station, you have it's a rock station, but you have like 4 or 5 decades of music to choose from, and you literally will hear the same songs multiple times a day.
Yeah.
It's like I don't get it. There's a radio station here that's like everything from the 80s, 90s, and 2K and today.
And you're like,
and
everything?
I hear the same songs multiple times a day. I'm like, how the fuck? I'm like there'll be like certain artists, they'll only play one song by that certain artist. It's
well,
like
yeah,
that artist
like
has multiple songs. Like
how many?
And it's not a new song.
No, it's like Back in Black by AC/DC.
But then it's like, okay, they have a ton of different songs. I don't care for that band, but they have more songs than that one. Why are you playing the one song?
Because that's
and
the
it's
one.
Like fucking, or certain that the radio station here, it's like they'll play Lady Gaga, but they'll play just fucking like Bad Romance. And it's like she had other songs that like were more popular than that song even. Yeah. Or they'll play California Girls by Katy Perry.
Poker Face.
But it's just like, what the it's very frustrating. I hate the radio.
So do I. I abandoned the radio, I think, while we were still in high school.
The only radio station in Minnesota I actually kind of liked, and it was very hit or miss as well, though, was The Current.
Oh, sure.
Because that was like, I found out about a ton of different bands listening to The Current because they had like throughout the day they would do different, like this 2-hour block is this genre of music, and then this 2-hour block is this genre of music. But it was just like weird bands that you wouldn't have ever heard of. I think it was literally like whoever was the DJ at the time just kind of got to choose what music they wanted to play. And so they'd play stuff that they liked. And so you just, depending on when you were listening to it, you would hear all types of different music throughout the day. And I found out about a ton of different bands listening to that station.
I've never listened to it, but there's something on, I have Apple Music, which is no surprise, or should be to no surprise. But I know that they have some sort of radio on there too. And they'll have shows where some artist is on picking what is going to be played for that show and stuff. So it might be similar like that, where they're like, someone gets to come on, pick out music they want to play and play it.
Right.
And so forth. But again, I've never listened to it because any, regular radio ruined. I mean, maybe I'll give it a shot some other time, sometime in the future, but it's kind of ruined my desire at all to listen to any form of radio whatsoever.
No, it's awful. Regular radio is awful.
But then I don't listen to streaming services in a way that is like the Discovery way, where it's like,
right.
You're
just listening to the songs you already know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been locked into the 90s for a long time as far as, I can't think of something somewhat recent that I would have checked out in a long time.
And to be fair, knowing the type of music you like, I don't know if there's anything recent that you'd even really be super into. Like, you could probably hear it and be like, it's kind of a cool song, but you wouldn't be like, let me go out and get all their stuff and start listening to this new band. No, probably not. I mean, there's so much out there, so you really can't say for sure. But, and that's not to say that, I mean, it's weird to say like what I will tolerate, but there's a lot more music that I'm more okay to listen to than I used to be. But that's not to say that I immensely enjoy it either. So, I don't know what would grab me nowadays as far as stuff that's being made now. I just don't know. But I don't have the time and energy to just be constantly on the hunt for new music. And I think it's that other thing too. It's like when you have the time to like listen to stuff, you don't want to, it might be like, oh, I'm going to be cleaning the house today, so let me throw some music on, or I'm driving to and from work, or I'm driving some sort of a long distance, let me throw some music on. It's like those periods of time, you're not like, let's use this time to discover something new. You'd be like, let me just throw something on that I know I'm going to like, because especially if you're like cleaning, I'm not going to put something on that I'm like, let me see if I'll like this. It's like, no, I want to play something that's going to motivate me to keep cleaning, or I'm going to not do this and I'm going to sit down with a bowl of chips and watch a movie.
Because even if you put something on that is new, that you've never heard before, when you're going to start doing something like cleaning, and then it turns out to be something like, oh, I don't like this, I want to skip this song, or I want to skip this song, or I want to try to find something else. You now have interrupted the point. You've interrupted the cleaning. You want to have something on that you don't have to think about. You like. Yeah, I remember.
You're not even really paying attention to, because you're just like, oh, this is, this. Let me throw on all of Radiohead's music, and I'm just going to let Radiohead play all day while I'm cleaning. I don't have to pay any attention to that. I know all the songs. Boom. It's just kind of background noise at that point.
I remember when lockdown was pretty new. I remember just hopping in the car, because one of the things you could sort of do just to leave was just to hop in your car and drive somewhere. I just started heading south. I made it down to Iowa. Anyway, and I just like, as I was starting the trip, I'm like, I'm going to listen to all of Pink Floyd's music. I know barely any of it. I'm going to start from album 1 and go through the whole catalog. And I don't know if it's just because I ultimately wasn't in the mood to dedicate to listening to just one group, or if it was Pink Floyd, or if it was Pink Floyd's first album. I don't think I got 4 songs in before I bailed on that idea.
Right. I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know what their first album even is.
I can't remember.
There's plenty of Pink Floyd songs I enjoy, but again, another group. I don't own any of their albums. I just know, I know a few of their songs. But yeah, I probably would have been very similar. Of just like, okay, I've had enough.
Yeah, I remember because they have their hits, the ones that everyone always fawns over. And so since here's another thing that the general population, I've never been this way. You lock in on the 2 or 3 hit singles, and that's all you listen to from that group. Right. So it makes me think, well, the rest of their stuff must be worse or not worth a listen.
Right.
If it's not Money, if it's not The Wall, if it's not, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, if it's not Wish You Were Here, oh my God, I Wish You Were Here, So if it's not those songs, is it even worth it? Is there any point? Because with the way the public treats it, it's not. Right. It's you only focus on these 2 or 3 songs or 4 songs. So the funny thing is, if I'm listening to an album, the single will come on and I'll go, oh yeah, that's on this album. I forgot. I don't think about the single at all. I think about everything else. When I'm listening to Super Unknown and then Black Hole Sun comes on, I'm like, oh yeah, that's on here too.
Yeah.
I just don't
honestly,
care.
Black Hole Sun, probably one of my least favorite Soundgarden songs.
It's weird, right? But this is why I've always just felt so like not part of the general public.
It's like for me, like, I really like the band Silver Sun Pickups.
Okay.
As far as kind of a newer-ish band, I mean, so their first their first big album was their second album that came out, had the song Lazy Eye on it.
Okay.
That got very popular. Everybody knows the song Lazy Eye.
I probably do.
You definitely know it. It is by far my least favorite song on the whole album.
Yeah.
I will literally listen. If I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw that album on and I'll listen to it. 9 times out of 10, I will skip past that song because I'm just like, yeah, I mean, that was the first song I heard. And I'm like, okay, this is a pretty cool song. I'm going to go buy this album. So I went and bought the album.
Yeah.
And then, I listened to it through. And by the end of listening through it, I'm like, wow, that song that got me into them is probably my least favorite song of theirs. So it's that weird thing.
I think it's funny when you hear stories about a group that puts out they need one more song for an album.
Yeah.
And then they throw something together and ends up being the huge hit that everyone loves. Oh, was it?
Smoke on the Water is a prime example of that. They needed another song to fill out the album. They wrote that song in like an afternoon and it becomes their biggest fucking hit song.
See, I was thinking, Yeah, by Usher.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Why would that be my example? I just heard that that's what happened.
Oh, I had no idea.
And they brought Lil Jon on to join.
I was almost going to say Lil Wayne. No.
I almost said that too, and I wanted to make sure I didn't say the wrong name.
It'd be funny if you said John Little.
John Wayne?
John Little from Robin Hood.
No, I know.
Lore. Yeah.
But I could have also said John Wayne, which is the combination of their 2 names. And he was also a person.
Yeah.
Whereas John Little arguably wasn't.
I'm sure there's somebody in the world called John Little.
Well, yes, but I'm talking about the stories.
I'm not sure if the character John Little is based off of any real person. That I'm unaware of.
Right.
Much like I'm not sure if Robin Hood was based on any real person.
Same here. Or Maid Marian. Or the Sheriff of Nottingham. I'm sure the Sheriff of Nottingham wasn't real.
Yeah.
There was never a sheriff of that place.
Yeah.
Did he have a name? Do we know who the Sheriff of Nottingham's name?
Oh, Jesus. Am I going to have to Google this?
Lord something or other?
Are you going to have to Google this? Lord Sheriff of Nottingham?
Hans Gruber.
Well, I mean, if we're If we're going the movie lore way, yeah, sure.
That's my default Robin Hood is Prince of Thieves.
Prince of Thieves, the one with Kevin Costner at parts of the movie having an accent, but also not ever really having an accent.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of things where they're like, Kevin Costner's English accent is so awful. And it's like, I don't think he had an English accent at any point in the movie. So if that's what you're referencing, then yes, it was bad. But I don't ever recall him even attempting one.
I don't remember him attempting one either.
Yeah.
But I haven't watched that in such a long time.
I'm trying to remember when last time I watched it was.
So on Wikipedia, it says Vasey, Vaisey, comma, Sheriff of Nottingham, but no surname or anything like that, unless that is the surname. But I never heard that name before.
No.
Mentioned in any Robin Hood stories. They always just called him the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah.
So interesting.
My go-to Robin Hood story is Men in Tights.
The one that parodied Prince of Thieves?
Yeah. The Mel Brooks film.
Yeah. Classic movie.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts was when Little John was pretending or like, quote, drowning in that like 2 inches of water, like panicking because he couldn't swim.
Yeah.
That's also because it's one of the only parts I remember. But the one thing I like about Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is this one of the final fight scenes between where Robin and the sheriff are sword fighting in like the tower of the castle or whatever. It's so messy and clumsy and sloppy and probably what a lot of actual sword fights were like in that time.
Yeah, it was
it was not so
history.
Yeah, it was very historically accurate. Someone charted out that fight afterward by drawing lines on the ground and then drew those lines on paper to record it forever. To make it historical. So there was a historical reference of that fight.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because they did have
somebody did that after the fight scene from the movie.
No.
Now that's a historically accurate fight from the 90s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying they did. The fight choreographer
look at the history here.
They submitted all our documents to the Museum of Whosits, England land, and they said, please submit this as historical record of this.
Museum of Whatsit, Whosits, England land.
Yeah, it's not open anymore. Oh, by the way, R.I.P. Shannon Doherty and Richard Simmons.
And Shelley Duvall.
And Shelley Duvall. And almost R.I.P. Donald Trump, but that was a failed attempt.
I'm not sure how accurate it even is.
Well, you saw that he lived, so it wasn't accurate.
I'm saying I'm not sure it wasn't staged.
Yeah?
To gain more popularity and fame and bullshit. They're like, see, they're trying to kill me. See, they don't want me to be president. It's like, we don't want you to be president.
I definitely see him using that going forward.
He's going to fucking super use it.
But they can't kill me. I'm unkillable.
Yeah, I'm unkillable.
I'm the least killable president in history.
What blood? This is. I think somebody commented on it or whatever and just said, "I know fucking stage blood when I've seen it." Or no, I've seen WWE blood I know WWE blood when I've seen it was what it was.
It's a ketchup packet, we all know.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen any footage of it. I haven't really seen anything. I've just heard things about it, and I'm just like, whatever.
I saw the footage of it.
Would I have been upset if it happened? No. I wouldn't have, but
no comment.
I would never do it. I didn't ask anybody to do it. I'm just saying it wouldn't have, if it would have happened, I wouldn't have been like, oh no.
Fittingly enough, the shooter's last name is Crooks.
Oh, well, how is that fitting?
A crook. I don't know. A crook. Someone who doesn't,
crooks.
who breaks,
Crooks
someone
are
who,
notorious. Crooks are notorious for murder.
someone who people who break the law. Crooks break the law. So does
That guy stole that person's life.
So does an assassin.
Crook.
Look, it's better than if it would have said
What do we call him?
it's better if his last name was innocent bystander or angel.
Well, nobody has that last name.
I'm sure some celebrity will make it happen at some point. Although, did that fad kind of go away? The
Weird baby celebrity names.
The co-pilots and the apples and the moon units, all those, huh? Northwest. Yep.
Trying to get free flights. That's what that was.
Shouldn't they have been done Southwest then? Or is there a Northwest Airlines?
Nope. You're right.
Yeah. That's why they didn't get any free miles, because they gave it the wrong name. You are okay. You weren't really frozen, but you were very still for a while.
Because I'm visually upset, Sean.
Gotcha. I'll make sure to go to your single shot.
They were trying to get free flights, but they fucked up and wrote the wrong name on the birth certificate.
Yeah, I'm sure Kanye.
They tried to go catch a flight.
I'm sure Kanye was in charge of that.
Who knows?
Fun fact: Kanye was a misspelling of Kenya on his birth certificate. So
that fact wasn't fun at all.
They were trying to get free land. His family was trying to obtain some free land in Kenya, and they misspelled his name. Jam-packed, fun, never-ending, nonstop laughter. ROFL fact: Kanye's name was a misspelling of Kenya.
That was fun.
Okay, it took me explaining it.
That was fun, Sean.
For you to get it.
So
I know. I think so.
Wow.
What? Fun.
I woke up this morning and I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to have any fun today.
I looked outside and I thought the same thing.
You come at me with that fucking fact, and I'm just like, wow, how fun is that?
I told you.
Like
you didn't believe me at first.
I could have been playing jacks on the streets, but I'm like, Sean gave me all the fun I need.
Alone.
Yeah. Thought you were going to say a load.
No.
A load.
A load of jacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? It works.
Yeah.
If you do it right.
A jack of load. No, that doesn't work.
A load of jacks results in a load? A quarter load?
How do you get a quarter load?
It's 1/4 of it.
A load is a load. Whether it's full or no matter how much it is, it's still a load.
What if you keep some of it in? Safekeeping.
Like you like pinching off when you're going to the bathroom and you like have to pinch it off to stop because something's taking you away from having to pee for a while, so you can do that mid ejaculate. Yeah,
like, I don't know why you would use
getting half of this load.
I don't know why you would use an analogy that's basically the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's more common. It'd be more common to pinch off
a loaf,
pee stream than to pinch off when you're in the middle of a piss. It's probably more common than pinching off in the middle of an ejaculation session.
I think, have you ever pinched off a stream?
Yeah.
I think I have done it one time.
I do it constantly. No. I've done it here and there.
You always have to pee. And so
I'm constantly pinching it off.
Yeah.
I literally have like a clip on my penis right now so I don't pee.
Well, that's not, I'm
constantly erect. I'm constantly peeing.
Wait, you're constantly afraid?
No, I'm referring to last week when I said I'm so small. I'm constantly.
Okay. You can't do that because of the discussion earlier.
But when I get scared, it gets big.
Your state of being is a very common topic on this show.
Yeah, it literally, it's a mess down there. It looks like fucking Normandy down there.
Have you ever heard Have you heard Nikki Glaser describe herself down there?
No.
She describes it as a hastily packed suitcase.
Nice.
I'm like, that's pretty good. I imagine this.
My favorite was from Taskmaster when the guy was talking about popping a hemorrhoid out.
Okay.
And then he was just like, and he's like, yeah, it's still flapping around down there. And they're like, what? The state of your like anus, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, it's a real casserole down there. I'm just like, oh, that is so good. Immediately, it's just so visual.
Yeah. I wonder if he would have said hot dish.
Well, no.
No.
They European.
Oh, that's casserole is different.
Yeah. I mean, casseroles and hot dishes, I think they're very derivative of each other. But I don't think hot dish I think hot dish is a very Midwestern thing.
Sure. It's like what the term used instead in place of casserole.
I'd be interested in seeing what like there might be a much more like specific difference between a casserole and a hot dish. I just feel like hot dish is such a Minnesotan thing. Potentially
Minnesotans using that term in place of the term casserole. Not that it's different from a casserole.
I'm not claiming I know. I feel like casseroles and hot dishes are different things, but I could be completely wrong. You're looking up what's the difference between a hot dish and a casserole?
Yep. Is hot dish
an answer for it? So,
according to the Ramshackle Pantry, there are 3 main differences between the two: definition, ingredients, and purpose. Casserole is the name of the dish used to cook with, whereas hot dish is the meal itself.
Okay.
Interesting.
But people just call it a casserole.
Yeah, like tuna casserole.
Meal casserole. Yeah.
That's
they don't
strange.
call it a hot dish.
A casserole hot dish or a hot dish casserole?
I think it's funny because a hot dish is also just describing the thing that you're taking out of the oven. It is a hot dish.
Yeah, so I guess any meal you prepare
in a casserole pan,
in a Pyrex glass pan or something, is a hot dish.
I mean, sometimes I just get a hot dish right out of my microwave. Hell, I get it out of my sink.
That's because it's been soaking?
Yeah, it's been soaking in some hot water. It comes out, it's a hot dish.
But the casserole in that instance would be the water and the soap?
No, I mean, it's just a hot dish.
Right.
There's nothing on it. There's no meal. It's just a hot dish. I mean, you can get a hot dish from just like a house fire.
So when you do the dishes, anything you're washing is a hot dish at that point.
Yep.
Like a fork.
Constantly make a hot dish.
A fork could be a hot dish.
No, that's cutlery.
But when you wash the dishes, cutlery are part of that. When you say I'm doing the dishes, you don't.
It's a blanket term.
Yeah, but you don't. Yeah, that's the point. In that activity,
run a load of cutlery in the kitchen. We go wash some cutlery quick. Nobody says that.
Yeah, I know. That's the point.
You're making yourself look dumb.
Am I really?
I mean, if you don't know.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
Does that mean the more you know, the less things become true?
Not necessarily. I think the more you know, the less things become unknown.
True.
Facts.
Trust.
That's quote me on that one, Matt 2024. That was pretty profound.
Man, what? We try to keep
things the less becomes unknown.
The less things you don't know.
Whatever I said.
Man, I try to keep
I said the less becomes unknown is what I said.
I know.
I didn't say the less things you don't know.
I tried to make.
That would have been stupid. I don't want to quote myself on that.
I tried to change what you said to something more dumb to make it sound like you said it. Yeah, I try to keep things lighthearted here, man. You're really just making it. You're bringing on some heavy stuff toward the end here.
Yeah, casserole versus hot dish. Knowledge.
Dishes versus cutlery.
Hands.
Facts.
Question everything, people. Don't trust the government.
Don't trust liberal media. Or any media.
Yeah, don't trust any media.
Basically,
do your own research.
Don't TikTok and X shouldn't be your sources for
Don't
news.
TikTok. Just don't TikTok and X. Just don't. Don't.
It's the only place. It's the only place they haven't blocked me yet.
It's like that's what I think I liked about Vine so much better than like TikTok and shit. Is because Vine was just people having fun and making stupid, goofy videos. I don't remember ever seeing anything on there of like people constantly putting out their bullshit opinions on shit. It's like keep your statements to yourself. Keep your statements off my body.
What?
I was trying to think of what's that phrase or whatever that, for women's rights, where it's like keep your
Roe v. Wade.
Keep your laws off my body or something like that. Or there's a phrase that I can't think of, but that's what I was trying to do with it. Keep your opinions off my body.
Yeah,
a lot of shun.
Keep your laws off my body. You got it.
No, I was right. Okay. So yeah, keep your opinions off my body. TikTok. And that's that. That's it. Leave me alone.
There's a keep your laws
my
off,
mind is made up.
There's a keep your laws off my body t-shirt, but
should we get those?
Well,
should we brand those for us? High School Famous. Keep your hands off or keep your laws off my body. No, we'll do the keep your opinions off my body. High School Famous t-shirts.
There you go.
I actually like it.
It's just funny. Well, first of all, there's another one that's a sweater, but you can read them wrong and say like keep your laws off my body sweater or keep your laws off my body t-shirt. But either way, they're things that you wear. So it's funny that you put these messages on your body. You have to wear something on your body to express the things that you don't want on your body. It's funny.
I honestly now I really want to
keep your laws off my body button.
Oh, I really do want to make a shirt that says "Keep your opinions off my body" because it's weird. It doesn't really make sense, and it's just kind of funny.
Well, you have access to print full just as I do.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just expressing my desire. Got it.
Keep your desires off my body.
I'm not going to do that.
That's against the laws.
I refuse. I refuse to, to heed to your requests. I will do whatever I want.
Then I'm going to start mugging you.
Start?
As myself.
Oh, you're going to stop dressing up?
Not as Cheryl and Mildred.
Yeah, that was what was crazy about it, is that you were pulling off 3 different women at once.
I'm telling you.
That's a weird sentence. They might not have been women.
Oh, I haven't gotten any milk out of this cow yet. Oh, because that's a bull. What was that? That's in Kingpin, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a cow. We have a bull, though.
Yeah. There's
Randy
a lot
Quaid.
of movies from back in the day that I was like, this movie's funny. This is so great. Oh, I love it. And like, if I watch them now, I just be like, ugh, throwaway jokes, just so much, just awful things that aren't funny.
Could I lay down what may be a hot take?
You're gonna shit in your room?
No, that's shiitake, and it's a mushroom.
Okay.
Is it possible that Bill Murray is overrated?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, I really enjoy a lot of his movies, but I can definitely see it.
He might be.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's not even a hot take, really. It's not me even declaring.
Yeah,
that
I was going to say, though, I do think going forward using the bathroom, I think the best way to say it is I'm going to go make a hot take. I'm going to have a hot take right now or something along those lines. I'm going to workshop that. But
yeah, because you already say take at the beginning when you're going to go in there, typically.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's time for a hot take.
Yeah, a hot take shall I make?
You don't have to Seuss this up.
Yeah, I Seuss it down into the bowl.
We already know how Dr. Seuss feels about pooping.
He's into it.
He wants you to, he wants you to make some brown.
And that is a hot take.
That's all, folks.
Yeah.
See you.
Abadi. See you next Tuesday.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, X, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
A little whiny, cryy, little whiny, tiny little whiny bitch.